This is Tony Bishop with Connexis Search Group. I want to talk a little bit about AI for automation. By now, everybody is already using the basics such as ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek. We won't go into these. These are large language models. Everybody who's watching this, I'm sure, have been using these to make their life a lot easier. It's a great tool from responding to emails, to looking at financial statements, to creating PowerPoint. Tons of great things here. I'm sure everybody's using them. A little bit more advanced on the personal use of the GPTs and the AI assistants. I don't know how many people are using those. GPTs are part of OpenAI's platform, and you can see here, these are just pre-programmed tools that can actually make the task so much easier. So if you're booking travel, you can go to Expedia here, and it walks you through the whole process, asking you questions. You can do image generation. So if you need images for your website, you can do this. If you need to write an article or write a blog, you can do that. So there's tons of GPTs. This is just a few of them, and you can see they're broken down in categories here. So won't go through those. If you're not using them, you may want to look at them. I'll just show you a quick example of how I use them. Like, this is my personal one that I use just to whenever I want to go on vacation. Then I use this one. All I have to do is just click on this, please find me a house to rent, and then it will start looking for a house to rent. And mainly because I've already given it all the criteria. It knows, so I load it into the GPT. Hey, this is what I'm looking for, and it's the same thing every time. It's like, hey, we have a pet, we want to bring our pet. Hey, we want to stay right on the ocean, we want to be in South Carolina, North Carolina. You just give it all the criteria, and it will go to work and give you rentals. It gives you vacation rentals in this situation. So these are great tools to not only for work but also for your personal life. You might want to consider using these. All right, so let's talk about business use. These are three different applications. There's chatbots, there's AI assistants, and AI agents. And so these are the most simple to the most advanced. So let's talk a little bit about how you can use these chatbots to start off with in your business. Okay, so business use chatbots, they're rule-based, and so basically they're using natural language processing. But here's the thing you really want to know with chatbots. They're going after structured data. So you can put data into these chatbots, and it can access the data and read the data quickly. So that is the main use for chatbots. They're pretty straightforward, pretty easy to build. But the more advanced you get, then you have to obviously have a more advanced knowledge of how to build these chatbots. Here's an example of how you could use this, and this is actually a client we're working with who's going to work with us on implementing this. They're going to be rolling out an FDA product, and so they're going to have this product. This company's international, so they're going to have global clients who are going to be calling about their product. So this is instead of having a bunch of hotline specialists, technical support people manning telephone lines 24/7 and knowing how to speak different languages, you can use a chatbot to do this. So you could upload all your information. So you could upload, let's say you have a 2,000-page PDF that is your standing operating procedure or has everything about your product. Every question you need to have answered is in that 2,000-page PDF. This is a great use for chatbot. You can give the chatbot this information, the data, and then it can quickly answer. If somebody responds, if somebody starts typing in German, then it starts talking to them in German and responds to them in German. This is a great use of a chatbot. And then there's different ways to store data. I won't go into details, but you can store data in some of these chatbots. And then sometimes you might want to use a third-party vendor, and the chatbot has access to that third-party vendor. If your information is really technical and very proprietary, then you might want to use a third-party vendor for your data. Here's one that we've done just for recruiting. I had information in a lot of different locations at Connexis. We had it on a shared drive, we had it on spreadsheets, we had it on team drives, we had it all over the place. And so we just put it all in one location. And so our recruiters can just hit start a conversation, and then they can access all the information that we have about the company. So everything that they need. We've uploaded it into a knowledge base, so it's our proprietary knowledge, and the chatbot will quickly answer those questions by using the information that we've given them. So this is a big time game saver. Everybody should be using this if you have information that you need to share with your employees, and you can also do this if you want to share information with your clients as well. Okay, so AI assistants are a little bit different. They are a little bit more advanced than the chatbots, and they can do a lot more. They can integrate with your CRM and with calendars, and so they're a little more sophisticated than a chatbot. Here's an example of an AI assistant doing a role play. So you can program these AI assistants to conduct a role play. So when your sales rep logs in, it welcomes them. Hey, I look forward to role playing with you, and it tells them the criteria, what we're going to do, and then it lets them practice. It lets them carry on a conversation, and then the AI assistant is flexible enough, unlike a chatbot, that it realizes what the conversation is about. And you can pre-program in there too the knowledge base you want the AI assistant to use. Like, hey, this is how we conduct role plays, or this is how we conduct sales training or sales calls or whatever. So you can give it a knowledge base to work off too, but you need some flexibility here, some interaction, and the AI assistant can do that. It can also pick up on their tonality. If they're frustrated, if they're overly aggressive, it can recognize that and tell them, hey, you're being overly aggressive. So it gives them feedback at the end also. So it's a great way. I know a lot of times sales reps don't really enjoy role playing in front of a bunch of people. This way they can practice on their own and get comfortable. It's a great tool. I created one of these for our candidates who are interviewing, because a lot of times candidates want to prepare for an interview, and a lot of times the candidates haven't interviewed in 5 or 10 years. And so there again, we have a knowledge base in here on how they should interview. When they hit the start conversation, then the AI agent starts actually interacting with them, asks what their name is, asks them what type of position they're interviewing for, so it can know what types of questions. So we have 2 different paths. If you're just like maybe a service type rep maintaining a business versus a business developer winning new business, then it has different sets of questions. So this is a very helpful tool, and it's like it just takes it. One, it's great for the candidate. They don't have to spend time. They can do this whenever they want to, nights, weekends, and my recruiters don't actually have to do this. They can have somebody go through and learn how to prepare themselves for an interview. So next I'm going to show you, this is just the back end of this. I know most of you are not really technical and don't care about this, but this is just kind of the flow of how one of these would work. And so this is the top of the page, and then this is the bottom of the page, and there's still more. I didn't get it all on all these screens, but what's happening here is, if you can see this where it says post, it's basically accessing the AI assistant, and so the AI assistant is actually interacting back and forth with the candidate through this scenario. There again, not a technical presentation. And this one I did myself. It took some time, but it's something I can customize as I need to. And there again, I realize most of you are not really wanting to do all that. I'm just trying to show you the back end and how it works. Okay, and then the last is AI agents. AI agents are the ones that are a lot more autonomous. They can do a lot more on their own without your assistant. So you have to set them up so they know what you want to do, but they can do stuff without human intervention. And so some of the applications for this would be like qualifying sales leads. So you could actually have somebody come to your website. Maybe a chatbot sees that they're on their website, starts interacting with them, starts asking them questions, providing information, and then it can actually score that person on how good a prospect they are, or how good a lead. And if they're over a certain score, then it will offer them maybe a calendar to schedule time with one of your salespeople to have a deeper conversation. It can actually interact with your CRM. It can actually take this person's information and put it into your CRM for you also. So there's API connections to CRMs. great tool, very sophisticated. Also can serve as an assistant to you, so you can actually have this AI assistants actually checking your agents. I'm sorry, checking your emails, and if it's spam, it would know to get rid of spam. If it's something that's important, then it realizes that, and it can have a conversation. It can actually send emails on your behalf. Now you can actually program these things too. Say, hey, listen, don't do anything without my approval. So you can set it up so, hey, ask me first. So you can do it that way, or you can just have it go through the whole process, depending on if it's like a lower tier lead or maybe a spam. So anyway, there's a lot of flexibility in these AI agents, and you have multiple agents. So there's a couple of ways that you could have one main agent who's assigning tasks to 3 or 4 other agents, and they work together to achieve the final outcome. Anyway, I hope this helps. Just want to kind of give you an overview of how things are progressing. I know everybody's using the basic stuff, and now our jobs as leaders is to keep realizing, hey, what's next, and how difficult or how easy is it to implement, and what should we be doing next to make our businesses operate more effectively and more efficiently.